The General Hospital scoop for Monday, February 2nd, hints Michael Corinthos will be sick and tired of his ex-wife's tactics. Also coming up, Willow Kane will have another demand of Alexis Davis. Plus, Brooke Lynn Quartermain will worry about her grandmother. And Rick Lansing will get a new case. GH spoilers tease Brooke Lynn will learn Tracy Quartermain is missing, so she'll recruit Emma Scorpio and Gio Palmieri to help find her. Of course, viewers know Tracy is just fine. She was stuck with Martin Gray at Drew Kane's during the blizzard. Over with Willow, who will implore Alexis to help her see her kids. "I need you more than ever," she tells the lawyer in the GH sneak peek for Monday. Spoilers indicate Willow's going to play dirty. But what will she offer Alexis for her services? Meanwhile, Sonny Corinthos will make an offer to Rick. Rumor has it, he'll ask him to represent Michael. However, Rick will balk since he did originally represent Willow in the custody case. "You are a good lawyer," Sonny will tell him. "This is another chance to prove it." Other GH spoilers tease Lucas Jones will urge Marco Rios to consider getting their own place. Plus, Britt Westbourne will make an unsettling discovery. Finally, it seems Alexis will agree to help Willow once again. She'll call Michael and tell him she's representing his ex-wife and wants to discuss the visitation hearing. Alexis will even suggest they come to some sort of arrangement. However, Michael will be sick of Willow getting others to do her bidding. "If she wants a compromise, she can come to me," an angry Michael will tell Sonny. But will he continue to stand his ground with Willow? At any rate, it looks like a great episode is coming up. Keep reading the Soap Scoop for more General Hospital spoilers and news. And make sure you join our free GH Facebook group. On General Hospital, Carly Spencer's attempt to shield Valentine Cassadine from the WSB's reach hit a snag when Jack Brennan arrived and noticed 2 glasses on the table. This blizzard ripping its way through Port Charles might provide some actual cover, but it's doing nothing for the figurative version going on at Carly's place. With Valentine safely tucked away in the guest room, a move that Carly decided made sense since she's absolutely certain no one would brave the storm to find him, things went south. When Jack Brennan pounded on the door, Valentine all of a sudden had to scramble back to the attic. I was sure he was about to get caught and it would all be over. It was the classic soap setup. One person is hiding, another is lying through their teeth, and the suspicious visitor with some Liam Neeson-like detection skills. Carly's quick thinking with the 2 glasses story, claiming she poured the second one expecting Jason to stop by, was vintage Carly. But did Jack actually buy it? I had my doubts almost immediately. What does he do for a living again? Detectives detect stuff, and he's a spy, so he spies stuff, right? Jack Brennan isn't just some guy Carly is dating. He's a highly trained WSB agent who has spent his whole career reading people and environments, like his life depends on it, which it has. While he played along for the moment, especially after admitting his feelings for Carly, a man of this caliber doesn't ignore a second drink sitting in a lone woman's house. That's at least cause for a few follow questions to sound her out. Have you ever spoken to an off-duty policeman? They're never off-duty, and they always ask information-gathering questions. It's hardwired. Beyond the whiskey, Jack's training likely picked up on several other discrepancies. He's the type to notice the condensation level on that second glass, or whether the ice had melted at the same rate as Carly's. He could have easily caught the scent of Valentine's signature cologne or heard the telltale creak of a floorboard shifting under weight from the attic above. More importantly, he knows Carly. He knows when she is overcompensating for something, and that sudden shift with her fake-it-till-you-make-it attitude toward their physical connection despite her likely internal revulsion is going to ring alarm bells. Valentine, I feel, is playing a very dangerous game. Can he keep this up? For how long? Keeping himself hidden there will feel safe for now, believing that even if Ava spills the goods to Sidwell, as the cops won't be called. However, Jack is another story entirely. Relentless and thorough is what he is. Brennan is staying in Port Charles, and he's not going to let a mystery involving 2 glasses slide for long. Whether he returns to catch her in the act or simply to test and see if his love is reciprocated, one thing is certain. The WSB doesn't miss a beat. even in a snowstorm. Is Jack going to be back, or will Valentine hit the track? General Hospital spoilers for the week of February 2nd to 6th tease major awakenings after a week of Demera dread. Sunny suggested to Ava that she doesn't get involved with Sidwell. Britt made a scene at the hospital to break things off with Jason. Marco ordered Britt to the Windermere lab where Lucas walked in on them. Jordan ran into Brick and broke it to him that she's dating Curtis. Brick also ran into Brennan and Carly, where it was revealed Brick knew Brennan back in the day. Brennan ordered Joss to keep a low cover with Cullum in town. Later, she overheard Brennan tell Cullum he's only dating Carly to get information, which led Joss to telling Brick what she learned. Britt spun a story to Lucas, then later told Sidwell she couldn't work in his lab yet because it doesn't have the proper safety precautions. Sidwell, Ava, Lucas, and Marco decided to wait out the storm together. Jason set out to save Britt from Sidwell. After learning how to cut power to Spoon Island from Brick, Joss braved the snowstorm and cut power to Windermere. Tracy made a plan to get her family heirlooms back with the help of Gio and Emma. Lulu and Charlotte went to the Metro Court restaurant, where Charlotte overheard Brennan and Nina talking about their deal, prompting Charlotte to take off. When Tracy broke into Drew's, she was met with Martin, who halted her attempt at getting her heirlooms back. Gio and Emma were unable to get down Drew's street in the storm, so they went back home to wait out the storm together. Portia visited Trina to try talking things out. Lulu asked Nathan for help finding Charlotte, but they wound up snowed in together. Carly kept Valentine distracted during the storm. Charlotte went to Danny for help and asked him to bring her to Carly's to see her dad. Jason saved Britt from the storm, and she finally accepted that he wants to help her. Charlotte and Danny only made it as far as Michael's old house, where they had s'mores and shared a kiss. Stuck in the cafe, Lulu and Nathan passed the time playing Two Truths and a Lie. Nathan slipped up about his past, then later the two shared a kiss. Valentin attempted to find Charlotte, but couldn't brave the weather, so Carly brought him back in and told him Charlotte was safe. Tracy and Martin did a bit of bonding while snowed in together. Molly finally told Cody that she wrote a new novel after learning that Christina sent her manuscript to her literary agent, who wants to make a book deal. Carly began bonding with Valentine until Brennan unexpectedly showed up. Cody read Molly's manuscript and realized her dumb, stable hand main character is based on him. Rocco interrupted Danny and Charlotte's kiss. Lulu and Nathan admitted their feelings for each other, but decided they couldn't act on them for Maxie's and Dante's sakes. Portia tried and failed at reconnecting with Trina. Britt finally told Jason everything about Sidwell, Cullum, and the 5 poppies. On General Hospital, Jack Brennan hardly has any friends and he doesn't trust many people. In real life, his portrayer, Chris McKenna, seems to get along very well with his General Hospital colleagues. And he often promotes them on social media while sharing his insights about Brennan's latest deeds and other stories on the show. Recently on X, McKenna took a moment to spotlight a particular group of castmates on General Hospital, the younger set. He posted on his X account, "I grew up on soaps and I've never seen such a talented group of young actors on a show in my life. #GHRH," he continued. "For those who don't know, I was a decorated child actor on a soap from 12 to 16 years old, and I'm telling you, this bunch is elite." He didn't single out a specific actor on General Hospital, but McKenna most frequently works with Eden McCoy and Bluesy Burke in the course of Brennan's World Security Bureau work and the search for Valentine. General Hospital fans were quick to agree with him and praised the bevy of young stars on the show, many of them notably involved in major storylines. You have the precocious toddlers, including Viron Weaver, Gary James Fuller, and Scarlett Spears. The teenage group, led by Burke, Cosette Abinante, Finn Carr, and Asher Antonizan. Plus the college kids, led by McCoy, Tabiana Ali, Braden Bruner, and Giovanni Mazza. On X, the user at GGGuzzerJoel said, "Absolutely amazing, all of them. GH has found some lovely gems that I can see growing and leading the show one day." The fan, Tony Rosamidia, shone the spotlight on how much Charlotte acts like her dad, Brennan's nemesis, Valentin. Bluesy Burke emanates future spy vibes, and the other youths are also building a great foundation for the future of #GH families. Clementine Berkey noted that the actors are good at playing real teens as well. One of my favorite little things from last summer was the portrayal of Danny and Rocco trying to be serious at their lifeguard jobs while also resisting the temptation to goof off. They did a great job as teens at their first job, relatable and realistic. Vimers Shaw 888 also thinks they're realistic kids, joking, "They are making my inner mom come out and I want to knock some sense into all of them." McKenna first broke onto the soap scene as teenager Joey Buchanan on One Life to Live from 1990 to 93. Joey's mother was Victoria Lord, inspiring a cute moment between McKenna and Slezak when the latter was on General Hospital as Ronnie Bard last year. At the time, McKenna told Access Hollywood, "She was like a second mother to me, I'm going to cry." The fan at Gila Luisito posted a picture of McKenna and Ryan Phillip, who played Billy Douglas in his first major role a few years before hitting it big as a lead on the big screen with I Know What You Did Last Summer. It was a screenshot of a scene Joey had with Billy, who came out to Joey as a gay teen in 1992, one of McKenna's biggest storylines on OL Till. Several other fans on X remembered McKenna as Joey. At Notcher13 noted, "Agree, it must be fun interacting with them and encouraging. I seem to recall a young Joey Buchanan on One Life to Live. Look at how awesome he continues to be now." The General Hospital spoilers for Monday, February 2nd, 2026, focus on Willow playing dirty. Meanwhile, Alexis is dismayed and Lucas is thrown. From the looks of the weekly spoilers, it appears Dark Willow is sticking around. She has already shot Drew twice in the back and did her best to frame Michael for her trouble. She tricked the jury into thinking she really was that sweet, victimized nurse she portrayed, and they handed her a not guilty verdict. Shortly after, she injected Drew with a syringe, and whatever was in that thing gave him a massive stroke. With Drew out of the way, expect Willow to continue to play dirty. She probably thinks she still has to deal with Michael and make sure he goes down for the crime that she committed but brilliantly escaped conviction. Now that she's no longer in danger of going to prison, one of her goals is to get her kids back. And Michael is simply an obstacle that she must eliminate. Does she deal with him on Monday? Or does her focus turn to someone or something else? Maybe she needs to tie up loose ends. Britt is in an impossible situation, but she finally let Jason in on the hell that her life has been. The two really talked and connected, and they are in a better place. While they work together to get her out from under the thumbs of Sidwell and Cullum, they have to pretend they're still on the outs. On Monday, look for Britt to make another upsetting discovery. What does she find? And will she be able to turn to Jason for help dealing with this latest find? Meanwhile, Emma is worried about her grandmother. She has no idea where Anna is, and it has been too long since she has heard from her. But the teaser suggests that she is about to get an important call. Maybe it's Nathan with an update on the search for Anna. Obviously, we'd love it if Anna is somehow able to contact her granddaughter herself, or someone who has information about Anna is able to reach out. Best case scenario, if Anna can't save herself, then maybe Britt or Joss or someone finds her and gets the word out. The teaser suggests that Lucas is thrown. This may mean he stumbles upon something surprising and not in a good way. Right now, he is blissfully unaware that his boyfriend is knee-deep in his father's criminal empire. He's making threats, he's blackmailing, and he's going above his father's head to order him to permanently dispose of Sonny Corinthos, something his dad isn't ready for. Thank you very much. Yet Lucas is living at Windermere drinking wine and martinis with Ava and Joss and missing all the red flags that are flying around. So what throws him on Monday? Does he actually get a peek at this darker side of Marco? One can only hope, because Lucas needs to get out of Windermere sooner rather than later. Finally, Lexis should be happy. She has carte blanche to see Scout again. Sure, she still feels she has to keep Scout away from her brother, even though Drew is indisposed. But being able to care for her granddaughter again is a beautiful thing. Then why is Alexis dismayed? It could have something to do with the fact that Willow is walking around a free woman. After all, Alexis knows the truth. She is well aware of how Willow is actually the guilty party in Drew's shooting. and she can't do anything about it, especially since the cops will be turning their attention to Michael soon. General Hospital actor James Patrick Stewart has been a powerful presence in Port Charles for the last decade as Valentine Cassadine. Before he joined the ABC soap opera, he shot a pilot that brought him into the orbit of the late great Catherine O'Hara. Now Stewart is sharing a kindness that O'Hara gave him during their brief time together. Years ago, I was working on a pilot. Stewart began a post on X, formerly Twitter. It was my 40th birthday, and I had a couple of scenes with Catherine O'Hara. We had never met, but she learned it was my birthday, and it sparked her trademark misty-eyed grin. She immediately wanted to know my story. Between takes, I confessed my fears about turning 40 in Hollywood, an industry obsessed with youth. She sighed and shared her own fears of being obsolete and aging out. Stewart continues. Of course, she never did. Her best days were still ahead of her, and much of mine have been too. Fear can feel so real in the moment, but, with time, can prove completely unfounded. That day I was fearful. In a way only another actor could understand. Catherine was kind enough to listen and offer comfort, Stewart shares. I will keep that moment in my heart under pure grace. Stewart didn't mention what the pilot was, but an IMDb search indicates that it could have been the TV movie Good Behavior. The film's plot tells the story of a crime lord matriarch who has decided that it's time for her family to start living within the law. The movie starred the late Treat Williams, Gary Cole, and Meghan Markle. Stewart wasn't the only GH star in the film. Vernee Watson and Jeffrey Vincent Perez also had roles in the production. Stewart played Principal Peters, and O'Hara played Jackie West. Stewart comes and goes from the daytime genre, dating back to his first soap opera role as Will Cortlandt on All My Children. He's been on GH as Valentine since 2016. The talented actor's other acting credits include Frasier, The Villains of Valley View, The Penguins of Madagascar, How to Get Away with Murder, Castle, Hot in Cleveland, 90210, CSI Crime Scene Investigation, and Two Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Place. You can read about Stewart's tribute to another late actor, Phil Hartman, here. General Hospital spoilers hint that director Ross Cullum may end Jocelyn Jacks's WSB career. Will Cullum warn Jack Brennan to fire Carly Spencer's daughter or else? Brennan tried to protect Jocelyn by sealing her identity and agent details in a locked-up dossier. Since Brennan doesn't think Cullum would shield Jocelyn the way he does, he put her on sleeper status and tried to keep her away from Spoon Island. Of course, GH fans know how stubborn Jocelyn can be, so she cut the power to Windermere and was all set to search the place until she saw Cullum. Although Cullum introduced himself as Matthew the caretaker, Jocelyn knows that's not true. Jocelyn is fully aware of Cullum's WSB position of power, so she's already playing a dangerous game by lying to Brennan's superior. It's possible that Cullum knows more than Brennan thinks he does when it comes to Jocelyn. Even if Cullum doesn't know everything yet, he could easily do some investigating and figure it out. Jocelyn just introduced herself with a very flimsy story, so Cullum already seems quite suspicious of her. It probably won't take much digging for Cullum to learn Jocelyn is Brennan's recruit, and one of the agents involved in the disaster at the Five Poppies. Cullum could be tempted to wipe Jocelyn off the map, but he might worry that would draw too much attention. With that in mind, Cullum may attempt a less lethal solution first. Although Jocelyn poses a threat, Cullum may try eliminating that threat by pushing her out of the WSB in disgrace. Jocelyn has a history of deliberately disobeying orders and has now knowingly lied to the director of the WSB's European division. Cullum could easily pretend he was already investigating Windermere during the power outage when he gave Jocelyn that caretaker tale. If Cullum decides it's time to end Jocelyn's WSB career, he may warn Brennan to fire her, or else something far worse could happen. Brennan may have no choice but to go along with the firing plan. Will Jocelyn receive the news that her WSB days are over? Will Brennan end Jocelyn's time as an agent on Cullum's orders and leave her convinced that Cullum is Jen Sidwell's partner? General Hospital spoilers say Jocelyn may continue to stir up trouble for Cullum regardless of her WSB status, so we'll bring you updates on all the excitement. General Hospital's Nathan and Lulu were stuck in the Bad Gen Cafe during the blizzard, waiting on word about Charlotte and killing time the way people do when there's nothing to solve in the moment. They agreed to play the game Two Truths and a Lie, and as a result, Nathan ended up reciting the periodic table much to Lulu's shock. When she asked how he knew it, he said his father drilled it into him, which went against what Lulu knew about him. Nathan described his childhood in practical terms, explaining that his father pushed him into science because he was bad at math and needed to be useful. That word sat there between them without either of them reaching for it. Lulu pointed out that he'd previously said his father was barely around, the kind of inconsistency that usually invites explanation. Nathan didn't push back or correct it, allowing both versions of his childhood to sit there without trying to line them up. That was the part that felt off. Not the facts themselves, but how easily they were delivered, as if the emotional context had been removed long ago. The way he was talking felt as if he was speaking from Fozon's perspective, not Nathan's. It was like Fozon going on about his own father's mistreatment and emphasis on science. The way Nathan spoke didn't change as the story continued. There was no pause to consider what it meant or how it might have shaped him. The recitation carried the same steady tone from start to finish, giving the impression that it lived somewhere separate from reflection. Fozon had always defined people by what they could provide, not who they were, and that logic hovered in the background of Nathan's explanation without ever being named. Even when Lulu pushed back, calling out the cruelty of a parent who measured worth by productivity, Nathan absorbed the defense calmly, almost distantly. The scene never insisted on its own importance. It didn't stop to underline what viewers were meant to take from it. The conversation drifted forward, but the residue stayed behind, attached to the idea that some of what Nathan carried wasn't memory in the usual sense. GH allowed the moment to remain unsettled. No explanation arrived to smooth it over, no revelation rushed in to give it shape. It was left as an impression, one that suggested that whatever Nathan survived may have brought something else back with him. Something learned through repetition rather than love, still operating quietly beneath the surface.